This Saturday was my mom's birthday and, since I always pester her by cooking Korean food, I decided to cook her seaweed birthday soup. But since I didn't know how she'd react to seaweed, but I do know she likes rice cakes, I decided to incorporate them into the recipe as well, effectively creating a franken soup of the seaweed birthday soup and the rice cakes New Year's soup, which kinda makes sense, considering Lunar New Year was just about a week ago. I started by prepping all the main ingredients. I soaked the seaweed and the rice cakes for a few minutes while I simmered the store-bought dashi broth powder. I made dashi at home before, but then my mom complained the house smelled like fish. The original recipes asked for beef broth for the rice cake soup and just water for the seaweed soup, but since I'm not using meat I opted for this broth because I know she likes it, when it doesn't stink up the house. I then cut the tofu I'm using instead of meat into small cubes. I'm not using meat because my mom doesn't like to eat it. I rinsed and squeezed the water out of the seaweed and put the seaweed and the tofu into the pot first, even though I don't know how necessary this step is since there is no meat that needs to be partially cooked. I don't really know what I'm doing, I'm just winging it, lol. Then it was time to add the broth and some soup soy sauce, a tiny bit of fish sauce, since I like it but I'm not sure of my mom's opinion on it, and some minced garlic to season. I let it simmer for a little over 10 minutes and added the rice cakes a couple of minutes before the end so that they'd cook but wouldn't turn soggy. Finally, I finished it off with a couple grinds of black pepper and I plated it into breakfast bowls because they're the deepest serving dishes we have at home. In Italy we use what we call piatti fondi for pasta, soups and such, but they're not really bowls and I didn't think they were deep enough. My mom seemed to appreciate it and looked less pissed than usual that I cooked her Korean food, so I'll take it as an indicator that it turned out well to be a franken soup. I was pretty pleased myself with how it turned out and I think it tasted pretty similar to the seaweed soup my Korean classmate's mom once cooked me for my birthday. So happy birthday mom, and let's eat seaweed soup, because